this is not something that I do very often, sitting on my couch in the living room. But this is a long rifle, and typically if I do reviews or tabletops on rifles, I'll do it out at the range. That way I have, you know, plenty of area to step the camera back and really take the full view in. But I have my Diamondback DB15 5.56, and I wanted to kind of take I haven't been doing this lately. I've just kind of been talking about it and just kind of overlaying the talking with footage from the range. But I put up a couple of shorts. When I went in to buy this rifle, I was looking for a rifle that was budget friendly, you know. Not for me necessarily, but, you know, to review on the channel. So I walked in and I was talking to the guy in the gun store. And sometimes you run into some people in the gun store that actually know guns. Most of the time, humor me here, you walk in, most of them don't know much of anything. And they act like they do, but they really don't know much. But then again, you have some of those in there that sometimes can be a little bit of a gun snob. And, you know, they like the higher end stuff, Daniel Defense, FNs, things of that nature. So I asked a guy in there that I talk to frequently, and I looked at this, and I kind of like this Tiger Stripe camo. And when I was looking at it, he said, man, I know you ain't looking at that Diamondback, man. That thing's a piece of crap, dude. Like, he said it like that with disdain, you know. And I said, well, you know what, man? Like, don't just say something and not give me a reason why it's a piece of crap. You know, don't just willy-nilly say something. Tell me why it's a piece of crap. You know, legitimately, I want to know. Make a list for me. So, you know, he got that evening, he started texting me all the metal quality. He said, you know, lock it back and knock it down and listen to the noise that it makes and all of this other stuff. He's like, oh, it's not pinned up front. The barrel is not chrome lined. The barrel material is garbage. The hand guard is garbage. It's going to get so hot you're not going to be able to use it. I hope you got some gloves. I mean, on and on and on that he went. All that TO75, T6 aluminum, all that's garbage. That's junk metal. He was saying metallurgy or some word he was using. And so, you know what? I was like, okay, you know what? This is a 600-ish rifle. And what he said to me was, he's like, oh, yeah, well, you know, the people on YouTube, they're just looking for, you know, that's why the videos for the cheaper guns do so much better than the more expensive ones. Because, you know, they're low IQ and they're looking for cheap stuff. And so it'll do great on the channel, you know. Well, I'm not that person. I've never been a gun snob. If somebody has a Taurus and it works for them and they're not putting, you know, 4,000 rounds downrange every year with the thing, I 100% believe it'll work to defend your life. I'm not going to be that guy. Oh, it's a paperweight, it's this, it's that. If it works for you, if you like it, you know what? Great. So my intention was to take this out to the range, and we did. And of course, I added a little angle foregrip here at the front. I added the Vortex Spark solar up here. This is one of my go-tos. I take it on and off of all kind of rifles. I put some Magpul. Actually, these might be some UTG flip-up sights on here that give me a good co-witness through my optic. And I took it out to the range, and we put 400 rounds through it. So let's watch that. So as you can see, through 400 rounds, absolutely no problems whatsoever. And when I tell you we put 400 rounds through this thing in quick fashion, I mean, we put it through there really, really fast. I mag dumped a 60 round mag. So let's drive that bad boy home. Now granted, the handguard did get hot. It did, very, very hot. You can see in one of the shooting clips that I moved it back even from the angled foregrip here, and I moved my hand down here at the mag well because it was too hot to hold. That is very, very true. And so I will say that the hand guard certainly is very thin. There's no question about that. It's probably not the quality of, you know, maybe a hand guard on a Daniel Defense. But I'm trying to take into consideration here, that it is a budget-friendly rifle. So for those that want to get familiar with the AR platform, $600, and it, as you can see, it performed flawlessly. Once we got this zeroed up, we put 400 rounds through the thing, well, right at 400 rounds, and it was pretty much right where I left it on target. It was still just as accurate as it was when I started. So the heat did not cause it to get so hot that it would not perform. So let's talk about it being a budget-friendly rifle. It does have the forward assist, does have the deflector, does have the dust cover on here, and the mag release. It's not tactical by no stretch, but it is very easily manipulated. Safety, selector, you know, very easy to manipulate, good positive click into place. So you have a adjustable mag pull stock. You have the extended beaver tail mag pull grip on here. You have the tiger stripe camo that I think is done very, very well. When I mounted my optic up here, I moved it back and forth a few times. It done very little damage at all to the pick rail along top. The deflector here, usually on most ARs, it just gets wore out. It just pulls the finish right off of it. There's a few little tiny brass marks on there. I really expected this finish to take a beating and not hold up very well, but that's not true at all. It held up very well, actually. And so on the trigger, I personally like the Saint ARs from Springfield. Those are some of my favorite in the price range. Let's get it off of safety here. I mean, you know what? It's a very, very good short reset, no question about that. So on the pull, there's a tiny bit of grit, tiny bit of take up, but when it hits the wall, it breaks right there. There's no rolling break, if you will. So it's not a tactical, you know, Army military certified trigger or whatever they call it, but it's a good trigger. It's a good trigger for, again, a budget friendly rifle. He started talking about the charging handle being cheesy and the metal that it was made out of being cheesy and all this other stuff. The internals being cheesy, the barrel not being chrome lined. I believe the barrel actually is about a medium chrome, I believe, if I'm not mistaken about that. Let me see. The barrel finish is a black nitride. Oh, and by the way, it has a very nice flash hider on the end. Let's see. Chrome moly medium on the barrel description. So it does have some chrome on the barrel. Maybe it's not complete, 1 1/8. Rate of twist. The overall weight is 6.3 pounds. Let's see what we have here. The overall length is 32.5 to 35.75. That would depend on which adjustments you had your stock at. But overall, again, we mainly on this channel, as you know, I review mostly pistols and revolvers and carbines. It's not that often that we review bolt action rifles, AR-15s. I love shooting them, but I'm not as familiar with the internals as I am with pistols, revolvers, things of that nature. So I'm not even going to get into all of that. What I'm going to say is that for a 600-ish rifle, having a adjustable mag pull stock, forward assist, deflector, dust cover, a mag pull, extended beaver tail grip on here, nice flash hider, some nice trigger, decent trigger. You know, it's not a full length pick rail by no stretch. It does stop about, I don't know, maybe a third of the way down. You have this empty spot here, and then you have a little bit more of a pick rail out front here to put your flip up sight or what have you. M-lock attachments all the way around the rail. Yes, the rail is a little bit thin. Does have a little bit of a ting sound when you slap the bolt forward or whatever. And I'm sure that some of the internals are probably not as good a quality as maybe a Daniel Defense or something like that. But again, we're talking about a $600 rifle. You see for yourself. It was very fun to shoot at the range. My wife even had a blast with this thing. Almost took her off her feet, but then she pulled it together, brought it back around. She actually shot this some off camera because she enjoyed shooting it so much. Since then, since the initial 400 rounds in the shooting compilation that you just saw, I've put another 150 rounds or so. Yeah, it was actually 150 rounds exactly. So 550. I did clean it after that initial 400, but have had zero, and I mean zero, malfunctions of any kind, not even a hint at a malfunction. And after having zeroed this Vortex Spark optic up here, solar, it still holds and has zero just like it did on the first round, now even out through the 550th round. So listen, for the average person that is not going to put as many rounds downrange with their AR-15, because, 35 cents a round or whatever it is, as maybe myself or the guy at the gun shop that has the DB. I'm sorry, he wouldn't have one because it's a piece of crap. The DD, the Daniel Defense, I don't know. Like, I have to buy my own ammo, so I don't know how much I can keep on shooting it to see when it will fail. But when I told him that it was flawless, he said, "What'd you put through it? About 500? Come back and talk to me when it's got about 10 in it." So longevity, I don't know. But what I do know, for the average person that just wants an AR-15, for whatever reason they might want it for, after having put 550 rounds through this gun, I can say that that's going to be just fine for the average person. As of today, I can absolutely recommend this gun. I've enjoyed shooting it, had a good time with it. For anyone that may think that it ain't hot, I laid it down on my rug here and it completely melted it. So she's definitely very, very warm. Anyway, as you saw, we put the picture up. At the beginning of this, we showed you the group that it shot. We have since put about 400 rounds. Turns out it was we had another box we didn't know about. Turns out it was 400 rounds, and it is extremely hot. I don't think anybody can question that. And so I got, 10 or 12 rounds in here. So I'm gonna shoot, hopefully the target doesn't fall because we ran out of tape, and see if it's still holding zero after getting that hot in that many rounds. Because a lot of times that'll speak to the quality of the metal. So let's see what we got here.
that, baby? Oh.
Can't see it.
Looking at it through the wrong side. You gotta look at it through the right side. Looks like it's a very daggum good group. I can tell you
yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's a good group.
It's just a slightly high.
I'll take a picture.
It's slightly high and a little bit to the left, but a very good group. So I'm good with that. I mean, again, nobody's going out with this firearm and dropping 400 rounds through it as fast as they can possibly do it, getting this thing smoking hot and then using it for home defense. So in the case that they are using it for home defense or anything really, just even sporting and stuff, I don't care what anybody says about this rifle. I'm happy with that. I would be happy with that. So you know who you are out there. AD. We'll just call him AD. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with the Diamondback, baby.
Make sure you go over, check out our website, gsquaredtactical.com. Pick up some gears, hats, things of that nature. Also hit your thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Let everybody know this is the place you can find the best blue collar reviews on YouTube.
Ain't nothing wrong with the Diamondback, baby.